Give it a second. Hi, everyone, and welcome. These are the Eagle Tech Stars, and we are doing a video segment today on digital citizenship and how we can combat cyberbullying in the classrooms. So how can we be kind to one another when we are in an online environment? I have a document here that I am going to be pulling up, and I'm going to be asking some questions. Okay? So the first question we want to talk about is, what is cyberbullying? Ms. Jacobs and Ms. Dekker, can you hear us? Okay. Yes, I hear somebody.
Do you hear me?
We hear you now.
Okay, it's Miss Jacobs.
Hi, Ms. Jacobs. What do you know about cyberbullying?
Well, I know that it's a relatively new kind of bullying that's happening around the world, and that it's really, really serious. So it's a good thing that we're talking about it today.
Is it like normal bullying?
No, I think most people, when they think about bullying, they think about it happening in person, like in school or in the neighborhood or at the bus stop, like being mean to other people, name calling, hitting or hurting them. But cyberbullying is different because it's like hidden behind a computer screen. It's when you're using the internet or pieces of software or communication via technology to hurt people. So sometimes with words.
So that's what it is. Did you guys get that, Tech Stars? It's when they're hurting people with words, but they're doing it behind a computer screen. Okay? So cyberbullying is something that we don't want to see in schools. So we want to talk about right now, and I'm going to start pointing my finger at different Tech Stars, and I want you guys to think about, what are some ways that you can be kind to one another when you are online?
One way you can be nice to people is not saying mean words to people or hurtful words.
That's
and
wonderful.
Saying you're nice and everything and not being rude and saying you're good.
Okay, so by not saying mean words, what's another way?
By being kind.
Good. So instead of just saying to not say mean things, we could also be trying to say some nice things. Can you give me an example of a nice thing that you could say to somebody online? You can call on a friend if you need help with it. What are some examples of saying kind things online?
If you're like doing video chat, you're like on a game or something like that. You could, if they're like need help, if they need help or something, you could like, can you help me out here? And they'll be like, sure.
Okay, so you can ask for help and you can give help to one another. That's perfect. Ms. Jacobs or Ms. Dekker, have you ever seen others misbehave while on the internet?
I have. I don't. Is Miss Dekker here?
Ms. Dekker, it looks like she's here, but I don't see her or hear her.
Oh, okay. I wanted to give her a chance to talk if she wanted to, but I have definitely seen it happen before, and it is heartbreaking. It breaks my heart. It's so sad because people get their feelings hurt so seriously. Sometimes I think it's even worse than like punching somebody in the face, even though that's really, really awful. Sometimes words hurt even more. And the thing about the internet and using the computer to communicate is sometimes it's easier for people to be mean because they don't have to face that person. You know, it's almost like they hide behind their keyboard. And so it's easier to write even meaner things than you would ever say.
That's very true.
It's really serious though, and I have seen it, and I've seen people get in a lot of trouble for it, because what sometimes kids don't understand is that everything that they do or say in like a social media site, or when they're logged into the computer, is able to be tracked. We can go back and see who was typing that message, who was logged in at that time. And so everything that you see, anything that you type is like there forever, and we can trace whoever wrote it. So that's why a lot of people get in trouble with it, because they don't realize that. They don't know that they think that it's anonymous, like you're just typing and nobody's ever going to know. But it's usually always able to be tracked back to who did it.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Anything that you do online, no matter if you do it now or you do it 10 years from now, somebody can always find that. Somebody can look up my name and they can find stuff that I did when I was in second grade or third grade. So it means we have to be very careful of what we put online. Okay? It's a very good answer, Ms. Jacobs.
Sometimes with words, we say something mean on the playground, and then we stop ourselves and we say, oh, I never should have said that. So right then and there, you say you're sorry and you fix your problem and you go on. But with the internet, like whatever you said or typed is there forever. As long, even if you go back and say you're sorry and apologize, like it's always going to be there on the internet.
Yep, you can't take it back like you can when you see somebody in person and maybe you hurt their feelings and you can say sorry. When you do it online, you can say sorry, but that's still out there. Okay? So we need to think about how can we be good friends when we are online. So I'm going to call on somebody, and I want you to think about how can you solve a conflict using your words.
You could.
Let me give you an example. If you saw somebody online that was telling somebody else that they weren't supposed, that they couldn't participate in that conversation, how could you use your words to be kind to them?
You could say like that there's always people like that and you just need to ignore them.
Okay, maybe you could talk about ignoring. What's another thing that you could do?
You could, instead of being back to them, you can say something and then try to let them know.
Okay, so we let them know. What about if we also just said, you know what, just like what we would do in person, if we were with a group of friends and somebody said, you can't sit with us, what would we do? Yeah.
You would tell the teacher or say, why did you say that to me? Or can you please take it back?
Okay. So you would have 3 different things that you could do, but you just mentioned telling a teacher. So when we're online and we see somebody do that, who should we talk to? A grown-up or a teacher. Very good. Could we also welcome that person into our conversation? Very good. Okay. We also need to think about how to be safe when we're online. So because we're online, we can't see things. So when someone makes you feel bad, sometimes it can help to talk the situation over with a friend. Okay? Some other things you can do is you can tell a trusted adult, which is what you guys just said. Okay? If somebody's really being bad, it says to ignore them. Okay? Or you can just sign off the computer. Those are all good ways. I wanted to bring this back to a book that we're reading around the school called Wonder. Miss Jacobs, have you read that book?
I have. It's a great, great book. I'm so glad we're doing it as one school, one community, one book.
Awesome. In Wonder, what was kind of the big message about how we treat one another? Miss Jacobs?
It was about, to me, it was about being open and accepting no matter what, and also about standing up for people that might be getting bullied. Because sometimes you're not the person doing the bullying and you're not the person being bullied, but you're like the bystander. You're the person who's just maybe seeing it happen, like some of the main characters' friends in that book. And so you kind of have a responsibility to help those people who are being bullied, right? So like Miss Fenwald said, if you experience cyberbullying or you see somebody else being cyberbullied, you need to let an adult know, even if it's not happening to you, if it's just happening to one of your friends, so they can get some help. You need to let an adult know.
Very good. Always letting an adult know. Raise your hand if you've actually read the book Wonder. Okay. So if you haven't read the book, are you planning on reading the book?
Yeah.
I hope so. Okay. Or you may be listening to it at lunch each day. Okay. So in Wonder, the main character, they say to not judge somebody by the way they look. Well, when we're online, we can't always see the way a person looks. But we can also make sure that we don't judge a person. So I want you guys to think about it. How does Augie's situation relate to being a good citizen when we're online? Yes.
He always doesn't really care who's bullying him, and then always Jack would come up and say he would help him out and say like he did to Julian, and then say you don't have to hang out with that little ugly faced kid, and then Jack punched him in the face. Yeah, that's totally right. But
yeah, so that wasn't necessarily nice, but how could we be nice with words about that? Yes.
you can hey, stop bullying him.
Okay. Or remember some of our other advice. What's probably the first thing that we should do? If we see bullying, what's the first thing we should do? Tell a teacher or an adult. Very good. In the book, they say when given the choice of being right or being kind, what should we choose? Say that louder.
Kind. Choose kind.
So we choose kind. All right. I'm going to end with one more question. Are you ready for that, Ms. Jacobs?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So I want us to think about. I'm picking our very last question. Make sure it's the very best one. All right, so here it is. How would you feel if you were the one being called bad things online, and what would you want others to do to help you out? Ms. Jacobs first, okay?
Oh my gosh, if people were being mean to me online, they were cyberbullying me, I would probably want to cry, right? I would be so sad. I would probably just want to hide at my house and never go to school, right? It would break my heart. It would also make me kind of mad, right? That somebody else was kind of controlling my life by causing me to be sad.
Good.
And then what would I do if that was happening to me? Well, I would tell somebody that I trusted who was a grown-up. So a mom or a dad or a neighbor or a teacher, somebody that I know could help me. In this school building, you have your teacher, you have Miss Fenwald, you have Miss Payton, Miss Dekker, me. You have tons of adults that can help you. So if it's happening at school, for sure, tell somebody right away. If it's happening at home, tell somebody right away. So that's the first thing to always do is get help, right?
Very good. Yeah, I know when I was younger, I actually had somebody be very mean to me when I was online. They said things to me that hurt my feelings a lot, and it did make me not want to go back to school the very next day. But I was lucky. I went and I told my teacher, and I also told my parents, and we were able to sit down and we were able to talk to the other person face to face, and we were able to use kind words. And to this day, I'm actually friends with that person because we were able to fix it. Okay? I'm going to choose 3 different people, and I want you guys, we're going to answer the same question of how would you feel if somebody was mean to you, and what would you do to help fix that? Okay?
I would probably, if I was cyberbullied, I would be really sad, but I would, how I would fix it would probably be tell somebody that I can trust, like the teacher or even the principal of the school, and see if we can find who did it and have a talk and see if we can think at it.
Good. Yes.
I'll probably go home and do that. And what I would do, talk to the principal and get revenge.
Now, is revenge the best thing? Do we know that we're supposed to get revenge? What would be something better? What are some of the other things that we've said instead? Talk with him. Use our kind words. All right, last one.
I was really disappointed.
Mm.
Really disappointed. And I would tell the teacher.
Very good. Well, we want to thank you, Ms. Jacobs, for taking time out of your day to talk about this really important topic with us. Techstars, can you tell Ms. Jacobs and Ms. Dekker thank you?
You're welcome. I enjoyed it very much. I love this kind of hangout where you can experience technology, but you can also learn something. So thanks for inviting me. I hope we can do it again.
I hope so too. Techstars, I'm going to take you on for one last minute. Okay? All right, so this was our very first hangout in a series of hangouts that we are going to continue to do about important topics that affect our classroom. Okay? So this is our first bit. Techstars, how did we enjoy our first hangout? Good. All right, can we say thank you to our audience?
Thank you. I'll see you all later.
All right, thank you, Ms. Jacobs.
All right, bye.